Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know, I am top ranked in wins in Pokémon TCG with over 2,000 wins. So today we're going to get into one of my favorite psychic decks. It's a mix between Florges and Mute-X. Florges, as you can see, requires only 2 energy and it does 80 damage and heals 20 to each of your Pokemon, which is very important for the deck. And then it is a mix with the Mute-X. The Mute-X does 20 damage with just 1 energy. However, with 3 energies, you can copy any of your opponent's moves from that active Pokemon. So Mute-X is very valuable because you can use only 3 energies and essentially exceed one of your opponent's Pokemon that might need, 4 energies, so you can get there much faster. So looking in this deck, we have a mix of 3 evolutions of the Florges. We have 2 Mute-X's, we have 2 Budding Expediters, 2 Sabrinas, 1 Giovanni, 2 Pokeballs, and 2 Professor X's. Also, we have 1 X speed because it only takes 1 energy to be able to remove all of these Pokemon, which are important. So let's get into some battles. So our first battle, we have, I believe we were going against another Psychic. With this deck, I usually like to go first because the evolution is important. However, going second doesn't really affect us either. It's a quick hitting deck, so we can get into our evolutions and get into our attacks fairly quickly. So in this situation, we got 1 Flabébé. We had no choice but to use that as our basic Pokemon, which is the only risk because it only has 40 health starting out. So sometimes your opponent might be able to knock this Pokemon out in just 1 hit. However, we were able to draw another Flabébé and a Mute-X, so that's going to allow us to get into what we're trying to do here. So in this situation, since I don't have any evolutions ready, I would normally just go ahead and lead with my Mute-X. And since I was able to get the X speed, that's what I did here. Took the Flabébé to the back line and proceeded to attack with my Mute-X. Still, at this point, I was still trying to figure out what type of deck I was going against. Normally a Psychic deck, it would be a Mewtwo deck. However, some people use Grangar as well, so at this point I'm still just trying to probe and see exactly what we're going up against. I can see that he has the Drowsy in the background, so that's a card I hate. A card that can put your main Pokemon to sleep is never any fun. So from here, I use my Pokeball, which I know is the only other Mute-X I have. So I move that to the back line and begin to build with that one. At this point, I'm just assuming that my opponent is not getting the cards that he needs because, like we all know, it's RNG, so it's just a random numbers game. Sometimes you'll get a decent deck, sometimes you won't. Here I'm beginning to be able to get into my evolutions, so I'm going to start building with that Florges and go ahead and secure my first point here. believe at this point in the game, my opponent would be starting to panic because he doesn't really have anything going yet. And I have, been beginning to get into my evolutions. And with this deck specifically, once you start getting into your evolutions, it's very difficult to beat. Here he finally upgrades to a Hypno, attempts to sleep me, but that attempt is not going to be successful, so things are just not going his way. I'm going to begin to have my back line ready so that I'll be able to mimic any move he has with my second Mu-X here. And at this point he concedes because he sees there's not much to be done. So that's a quick video of, one win. We didn't really get to get into the actual Florges and what it can do. So we're going to go ahead and do another match here. Alrighty, let's see what we have here for our second match. Hopefully we'll be able to get into some of the evolutions, so I'll be able to show you guys what this deck can actually do. Started off, we're going second again. This hand looks a little bit cleaner. As you can see, I actually get a Mu-X to start off with, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with that. We see that he has a fire deck, Moltres, and Charizard. So out the bat, we know what he's trying to do. He's going to try to use this Moltres to charge up his Charizard, and the Moltres also plays some defense because it's 140 health. So normally when I see these type of decks, I try to attack the Moltres first as fast as I can and get it out the way. As we see here, luckily we was able to get a full evolution, so I'm going to start with that, place my Flabébé, and just hope that he doesn't have a red card so that I'll be able to get through that evolution. So we'll start off with a side shot here. Kind of use the Mu-X as a distraction for now as we begin to build our Florges on the back line. As you can see, he already has his Charmander, so kind of pressed for time depending on what he has. If he already has a Charizard, or if he gets a good flip off of these, because Moltres gives you a certain amount of energy, so we'll see how many energies he gets. Starts off with 2, so we need to get moving. However, he put those 2. He didn't put them on the Charmander, which was surprising. So we'll go ahead and begin to build our evolution here. As you can see, I put my second energy on that Mu-X so that I will be able to use my third energy on that Heat Blast should I need it. Here he's still trying to build, so let's see how many energies he gets this time. Assuming he doesn't have the Charizard in his hand, or I'm guessing he would have used it. That was a very unlucky flip for him, to not get any energy at all. For us, we're beginning to make our second evolution. So we've completed the first Florges, and we are working on making the second, which we do have all the necessary pieces to get that second Florges. So you'll be able to see how this deck works. Here he places a, excuse me, my voice is a little raspy, I'm not feeling too well. Here he places a second Moltres. I don't see that helping him at all. So we'll continue to build. He attempts a Heat Blast here as he notices the trouble he's in, but by this time it's just far too late. place our second Florges, and we're going to go ahead and retreat our Mu-X. And here comes Florges with a perfect 80 to defeat the Moltres as well as heal. So to begin healing Pokemon, and that's really where the problem comes into play for your opponents, because as you attack and heal at the same time, there's just not too much that can be done. Here he hits us with a flamethrower, but for us that doesn't matter because, as you know, Mu-X can imitate moves, so at this point he's kind of done. We'll go ahead and retreat. Well, nope, he conceded. So as you can see, the deck is powerful. It'll make a lot of people rage quit. There's not much that can be done with this deck, so please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, or comment some of your favorite decks as well. I might be able to go over those and subscribe. Thank you.